Yalla, let's get started. This is yet another master class, and it is a day before the MTA. I assume by now you guys have done enough preparation. You have read, yeah, these were my expectations, and I'm sure you lived up to them and you have met them. You read the texts, and this is obviously a lengthy process that took a whole it took a number of weeks. I assume, and this is primary sources, which I'm sure you have covered. And then we move to the secondary sources, the articles and essays that are there for every and each picture book. So if you have done this and that, and if you have attended on a regular basis, and if you have watched the videos that we have, I think you are on your way towards يعني getting the highest mark possible. Mm, we're going to start this way. I would like you, if you have any questions, to ask. And while answering these questions, I'm going to kind of expand on the idea, look at its different aspects, and perhaps at the end, and I'll give you some expectations. So, if you guys have any questions, come to the mic. Or perhaps let's take them one work at a time. Let's start from the end. Let's start with the other side of truth and then move on to the other pieces of work. So, do you have any issues with the other side of truth? If you ask me, it's the most straightforward of the three. I mean, the themes are pretty much straightforward. We're talking about immigration, we're talking about media, its role, we're talking about child agency, right? We're talking about, um, you know, justice. We're talking about moral ambiguity and absolutism. Remember what we said? Um, so when it comes to the other side of truth, do you guys have any questions?
Yes, me, I have a question.
Okay, Serene. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Now they ask me if I'm to tell the truth or not. So the novel ends with that shade are shade is
Your voice
confused
comes and goes. I
if
mean,
truth or not. So
I'm not sure I can make out what you're saying. I mean, your voice comes and goes, yeah, Serene. Are you
can you
shaking or
hear me?
something? Shaking out of perhaps fear of the exam or something?
No, no,
Uh,
I just opening up the 3D. The
yeah,
3D.
yeah, because it comes and goes. Yeah, try.
Okay. My question is now the other side of truth and with that shade is confused if she will tell the truth or not. So it's just the end like this. So I don't know that shade she will now tell the truth or not. So I can't just say she is confused.
Uh, yeah, and anyone who has been receiving this kind of rigid upbringing would be confused no matter how the story ended. And obviously, it ended on a happy note. Remember, they got reconciled, and the father has job prospects in the USA. But that wouldn't negate the fact that she is uh, in in a moral dilemma because she's also trying to reconcile what she has been brought against and what she has to negotiate in life. Remember, life is not as white and black as we're trained to perceive or think. So yeah, and it will remain with her, but perhaps the takeaway for her would be that people should kind of be tactful. People should be able to decide for themselves. Theory is obviously different from reality. You have perceptions and we have reality. I don't think she will leave the story quite happy. She still believes that she was economical with the truth. She had to lie. She had to kind of uh, listen to people that she knows deep down that are corrupt and bad and everything. But there's still she has something. But let's be optimistic and perhaps cheerful, and let's focus on what they have reached or what they have achieved. The fact that they come out of the story at the end happy and triumphant. Yeah, yeah. And there is this idea that we don't have those kinds of questions where I ask you whether she was happy or she was sad. It's things are more complicated than that, right? It's listen to your heart. See what you think. And given her profile and her character, and you put yourself in her shoes if you were brought this way, and then you had to negotiate a life that is full of hypocrisy and lying and bureaucracy, and see what will happen. No definite answer for that. The end is even open-ended. It's up for grabs. You have all types of scenarios coming up. Yeah, Wissam, go ahead.
Yes, doctor. Hi. Is my
Yeah,
voice
hi.
clear?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to tell Shireen that it's not important whether she's definitely telling the truth or not.
Is
It's
she
only
Shireen?
relies
I'm
on
sorry. Are you Shireen or Shireen? Are you Shireen and I wasn't consulted?
Syrian, Syrian,
سيرين or شيرين ما تحيروناش.
Syrian,
سيرين.
Syrian.
سيرين,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
sorry,
Okay,
that's my
who's
bad.
that?
I think it's not important whether to say she's definitely spoke the truth or not. It's only relies on your interpretation about her action and
Mm.
her feelings. Also, I want to ask that do we have a specific critics for each story and novel that we have to focus on?
No, لا, no, of course not. You, when you study all of them, and we also don't target specific critics. We don't have those straightforward questions like who said what, and no, this is obviously high school stuff. Um, Critics and what they say inform your answers, whether those answers are short answers or long essays. So you will have to um, you will have to have read them because you're not going to start now, right? And you don't have to memorize anything. Let it flow. I mean, let it soak and sink in. Reading too much and over again will make things sink in. You're going to process them, and you will have a chance in the exam to get it out in the right way, because normally secondary sources inform discussions and arguments. But no one specific critic or scholar. No, all of them are important, and all of them should be read against the text and with the text. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. So, yeah, Tasneem, go ahead.
Yes, doctor. Is
Yeah.
the side of a true story? It's postmodern.
It is postmodern in its themes and ideas, not in its techniques. Remember what we said about techniques? When we have a postmodern novel, in terms of technique, it shouldn't have those straightforward narratives. It shouldn't have one single narrator. Um, and this is actually not happening with the other side of it. It's very straightforward. You have a beginning, you have development, and you have a clear resolution or end or closure. So it is, yes, it is postmodern, but not in the technical sense. It is postmodern in its themes and topics. Remember when we spoke about those issues, whether with media or the role of the media. We spoke about child agency because children were obviously taken for granted and nobody used to kind of give them that attention, that much attention that we're having. When we talk about the idea of immigration, of course, it's all over the place. And we're all grappling with this in one way or another. So in terms of themes and topics, it is postmodern, but not in a technical sense.
Thank you.
Mm, you're welcome. Mm. Okay, so do we have any other side of truth? What are the themes? What are the ideas? Yeah, tell me about them. Write in the chat. Go to the chat and write and make a list of the themes and topics that we have in the other side of truth. Give you a couple of minutes. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, so many themes and ideas, and all of them are valid, and all of them are things that we can talk about very comfortably, given the fact that we know the novel in out in terms of what happened, and when and how and by whom. Um, yeah, yeah, you guys are doing an excellent job. I mean, the variety of topics that we have in the chat area would reflect the fact that you know the novel in out. You don't have a problem with that. So, is there any uh, you know any topic that you feel that I need to perhaps expand on and talk more about in the other side of truth?
Now everything is clear. Thank you.
Good. What's your name?
Sirin.
Serene. Yeah, my friend. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank. Again, when you talk about one of
Doctor,
them, yeah, go ahead.
uh, I say in the chat, somebody write the theme in the this story family. I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, family. It's about family. Yeah, why not? Yes, but obviously it's a very broad theme, right? Yeah, it's about family relationships. What goes inside the family, the education that comes, informal education, obviously, because this is what you receive from your parents. You receive education, but it kind of set it in contrast with formal education at school. What is it that people or teachers teach you at school, and then whether it coincide with what you are brought against at home or not, stuff like that. Yeah, but it's obviously a very broad idea, the idea of the family. Again, I was talking about the idea that I mean, those ideas overlap. You find yourself moving from one topic to another, and if you are not clear about your objectives and the objectives of the question, you will find yourself rambling and writing and writing and writing. Keep yourself in check by kind of reading the question very well. Normally, when we give no questions, we give you keywords. Highlight the keywords and work on them. Connect them together and come up with your own answer. So it's not about writing too much, and it's not about writing too little. It's about writing sensibly and tactfully. And by now, mashallah, you're graduating. I think you have the means now. Um, hmm. Do I expect that we can have a close reading question? No, I don't think we know. No, I don't think we will have um, a close reading question in the other side of the rest. Do I know? No, I don't know, but I'm only, uh, kind of presuming. Uh, Again, what if we have a close reading question? If we have a close reading question, and you're going to turn it into an essay because it normally comes in the essay part, the long answer part. So you don't write like half a page and you say, yeah, this is what I came out with. No, you need to write uh, like you write in a normal essay. Uh, this part uh, of the novel. Remember what I said the other day, that you guys are lucky because we don't normally in close reading questions, we don't ask you to identify anything. We don't tell you, for example, that part of it is to identify where you are and what kind of themes or ideas, or you even figure out the themes and the ideas on your own. No, we gave you this and we ask you to develop the ideas, and you can even use the passage and the examples given in the passage to back up your answer. So this is, I think, yeah, and it makes it very, very easy and very accessible. Don't attempt a close reading if you're not sure of your abilities when it comes to close reading questions. Choose the other question, which is going to be an essay. And normally essays are, the topics of essays are very straightforward. So if you're not sure how to handle a close reading question, whether it is a passage or a picture, don't try it and focus on the other question, which is going to be a prompt. We'll give you a theme or a topic, and you develop it. Okay, the other side of truth. Okay. Okay,
Doctor,
so if you, yeah, go ahead, Munira.
in close reading, do we have to refer to the name of the chapter?
No, no, you don't have to.
If we tell it this from the beginning or just the end of the novel?
No, we normally we reference the text that we give. So we do everything for you. We say it's chapter kaza. Yeah, this is what is interesting about EA300B. We're not interested in this part. We're interested in seeing you starting an argument and developing it and يعني having يعني a clear line of thought, clarity of vision, meeting the expectations. So it's not about who did what and when. No, there is obviously more to criticism and critiquing than just that. Somebody, I think, asked a question in the chat. Is it okay if I can't remember a quote exactly? Yeah, of course it is okay because it's not mahfuzat, you know. I'm not giving you a poem and I'm asking you to memorize it. No, you don't have to remember every single thing. It's not about, we're not testing your memories, mind you. Okay, we're يعني kind of testing. I mean, the idea of testing is even, it's not, I wouldn't consider it a test. It's more or less like, you know, sharing ideas through a prompt. I give you a prompt and you start to read the prompt and you start to make an outline and you are on your way writing an essay with clear introductions, developments, and then a conclusion. So it's not really testing that we have in mind. So again, we're not testing your memories. We're not asking you to use quotes as is. You normally refer to the situation and the significance and the underlying significance of the situation. It wouldn't be enough to say that you agree or disagree with something, for example, without looking at the underpinnings of the thing, exploring the different possibilities and the different aspects. Your answer should be comprehensive, shamila, and it should be deep and relevant. If you do that, I mean, you don't have a problem now, inshallah. Okay, طيب. If you don't have any further questions about the other side of truth, let's go to Voices in the Park, which happens to be a favorite among so many of us. Again, it's up for grabs in terms of interpretations, in terms of themes. It is also postmodern, and it is postmodern, especially in its technical, uh, um, aspects. Given the fact that um, you have, you're not you're not confined to one single narrator, as in modern and pre-modern literature. You have four narrators, four voices, reflecting, of course, the diversity of opinions and views, right? So it is a postmodern text in its techniques. And again, remember when we spoke about postmodernism, we talk about so many techniques and ideas. Some of them are technical, like the idea of having multiple narrators, and some of them are thematic and has to do with the topics. When we spoke about challenging so many of the orthodoxies, challenging gender roles, challenging authority. When you spoke about the idea of intertextuality and the importance of intertextuality, and this time around, it's not verbal intertextuality that we have in full stop. We also have visual intertextuality, where there is or there are references to cinema, to paintings, right? Um, what else did we say that is postmodern in this piece of work? Again, the ideas are not, they may seem on the surface to be, kind of traditional, and where we talk about classes and class clashes, where there is always this conflict between the different classes. Um, but perhaps it is dealt with in a different way, where um, you have children and they represent those different classes, and perhaps for the first time they are trying to reach out to each other, representing the different classes. Whether their attempts were aborted at the end, this is obviously something that we can debate and agree or disagree on. Um, Somebody wrote something. Let me see. Okay, the most important thing in Voices in the Park is about the theme of different points of view. Yeah. Is it important to name the critic when I quote them? Well, if you can, you can. But if not, that's fine. Again, we're not testing your memory or the strength and the reliability of your memory. It's about writing well, and it's about also impressing the one who is going to read. And impressing does not only happen when you mention or when you drop the names of critics and you leave what they say. I mean, obviously, it's more valuable to expand on the ideas of the critics than to just drop their names without knowing what they said. So focus on the ideas and how those ideas can help, propel your argument forward. It's about you now. You have read the critics, the secondary sources, you have watched the videos, you have attended the classes. What we need is something, um, I wouldn't say unique, but something kind of uh, um, represents you. You have assimilated everything and you need to come up with something, perhaps a synthesis of a sort where you can have so many things, but the outcome is something that reflects your character and your soul. Okay, Voices in the Park. Remember, I referred you to a very interesting video that I created. It's a AI generated video, and I said that it sums up the whole idea. Yeah, sums up the whole idea, I promise you. If you have time, go and listen to it very effortlessly. And yeah, it will make you feel good. I mean, in terms of its comprehensiveness, the fact that it covers everything. To have the video. Do you know what I'm referring to? This video that I'm talking about?
Yes, doctor. You sent it before several times.
Okay, yeah, ممتاز. Joyce, if you can, after we finish from here, if you can kind of reshare it with everyone, because
Sure,
it's
doctor.
like, yeah, thank you,
Doctor,
because
can
it's
you
very, can I what?
can you share because I'm another section.
Yeah, are you part of the WhatsApp group? معانا في الجروب يا تسنيم؟
لا no.
طيب, wait, I'll look for it here. Just give me a second.
Doctor, I shared it in the Teams here. Check it, please.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, you have it now, I don't know. So, okay, ممتاز. Again, it sums up the whole thing. By now, you have, you know, you have prepared and everything, but all you need is to kind of perhaps listen to it, listen to the ideas, and let them sink in. Voices in the Park is about whatever is inside the picture book and whatever is outside. What do I mean by outside? It's the paratextual things that I spoke about when we talk about biographical details that you have on the cover page or perhaps the back cover. When we talk about the year of publication, when we talk about, you know, copyright details. So these things now count. Remember when we said also if you have different voices for different narratives, and obviously they talk about the self-same thing. How do they do that in terms of uh, the language that they use, in terms of the fonts that they use with this language, in terms of how those characters look on the page. So these are things that can help a great deal in figuring out what kind of point of view we have by these characters. Again, we spoke about gender roles, and obviously those gender roles are reversed in this picture book. Spoke about postmodernism. We spoke about intertextuality, whether it is verbal and textual intertextuality or visual intertextuality. We spoke about symbolism and the fact that you have different types of symbols. You have, you know, color symbolism. Look at the backgrounds when those different characters speak and talk. You have also seasonal shifts and you have seasonal symbolism. You need to look on where the characters are on the page, whether they are on the margin or in the center, whether they are portrayed short and small or big. It's all about the vantage point from which the narrative is being given to us. Somebody wrote something. Let me check. Yeah. Laura is asking about intertextuality. Can somebody come to the mic and unpack the term and give us examples from Voices in the Park?
And
Yeah, go ahead.
and intertextuality means that when there's a work or add from a work, second work. For example, let's tell you something. In the Voices in the Park, okay, it's a new story, but they add something we know before, or a work that did before. For example, like King Kong, when they put it in the pictures and something like.
I think you understand it, but perhaps you need to kind of think of how you can express it in a better way in the exam if you have that. Let's go to Heba. Heba is raising her hand.
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Maybe all kind of link between two or more texts, such as irony, intertextuality, um, literacy, and so on.
انت بتقولي ايه؟ Now we're
All
talking
kind
about yes,
of links between two
we're
or more
defining,
texts.
we are unpacking intertextuality. Now you're talking about literacy and cultural literacy.
Oh, yes.
Um, are you defining intertextuality when you say that we have a text adopting features and elements from another text, a text making reference and allusions to other texts, right? This is what we mean by intertextuality. And then you have visual intertextuality, which is obviously another development where you're not quoting words or you're not referencing words, you're referencing paintings, cinema, scenes, characters from the cinema. See? Are you getting my point? Good. Okay, so this is intertextuality. Joyce, can you come to the mic and tell us what intertextuality is?
Yeah, sure, doctor. First of all, if
Um,
I get a question like this about intertextuality, I need to explain what intertextuality means, like especially when we incorporate like elements from art or any other text, basically. Okay, because intertextuality, basically we're getting things within the text. Maybe we get like paintings, we get figures from movies, from other texts and stuff. This is evident in the picture book, Voices in the Park, because Brown used a lot of symbolism here within the especially in the drawings in the background. One of them is like King Kong when it appeared, especially in the background when the father, Smudge's father, and Smudge were going home. And the meaning, why did he actually bring this? Normally, King Kong represents those who are abandoned by the society, represents those who are like the marginalized, misunderstood, those who don't fit within the society. Okay, and this is like similar to Smudge's father. Okay, because according to the lady, she looks at him like she looks down at him because he's from a working class. Also, there are other pictures like the Mona Lisa. Normally, the Mona Lisa is known for her smiling, for her smile. Here, he used it as she was crying. So this shows the emotional impact or the emotional state of the father. Okay, because he was sad and he was worried about unemployment and all of the negative feelings. There is also the hat of the lady. Normally, the hat is also another symbol that's hidden within the text, okay? Because it shows normally hat is about the upper class because those who wear this kind of hat is belong to the upper class, the high society. So this shows the difference also between the high upper class and the way they look down at the lower class. So there are several things. So if we get a question like this, we have to say why they actually use this kind of thing. Normally, yeah, also the Mary Poppins one. And also we need to mention that children sometimes miss this. They don't understand it. Okay, but it's there to either for fun, for entertainment purposes, or mocking. But it's also for adults. They actually can understand the hidden messages. So this makes also Voices in the Park like enjoyable for both the adults and the young children.
Nice. Yes, very good. Yeah. Okay. Any questions about Voices in the Park?
Doctor, I have just a
Yeah.
question concerning
Yeah.
the Voices in the Park, only about one thing. Last time when we mentioned why did Brown actually pick gorillas as characters instead of humans, we mentioned, to avoid biases about social classes, about, like the moment we see a character like this, maybe unintentionally we might not identify with this character in this way, maybe because of his gender, maybe his race, maybe his class, maybe because I don't like the guy, how he looks like or something, right? So my question is, can we also mention the anthropomorphism with it as well, or no need, it's going to be too long? Like we need to mention the biases and all the stuff that I mentioned, okay, especially if
Yes,
it were
yeah,
a short.
it wouldn't harm if you said that this was also part of his anthropomorphic project. That yeah, it's yeah, you give it the name that um, it has. And this is all, I mean, having characters as animals. This is anthropomorphic. Mentioning the word would be appropriate and good, but you don't have to kind of gear the question towards talking about anthropomorphism. If you're not asked about anthropomorphism, flat out.
Okay, so only we talk about the biases and give examples from
Mm.
the text about it, like we understand because of this and that
Yes,
and that, and we
and of
focus
course
on the,
you're
okay.
going to say that this is by doing this he is being anthropomorphic, and anthropomorphism is about using this and that would be it. Mm.
Perfect. Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome. Um, okay, before I forget, I think I also have like a recording of a revision class that I had from last semester, and it was very good. It was a very nice. I also have it in my archives on my channel on YouTube. Do you have that? Um, I'll get you the list. Let me see if I can very quickly. Yeah. So this is the whole playlist. If you go there, one of the videos is going to be MTA in a kind of revision. You can also go and listen to it if you have time. What time is the exam tomorrow?
12.
12.
12.
Okay. Mm, nice. Good. طيب. Now let's move to the Tale of Peter Rabbit. How much do we know about the Tale of Peter Rabbit? And how much we don't know? Obviously, if we're going to talk about the Tale of Peter Rabbit in terms of themes and ideas, we're not likely to finish tonight. Again, it's full of ideas. In terms of, structure, I think it's very straightforward, where, yeah, you have beginnings and middles and ends. In terms of techniques, we're talking about codes here with the Tale of Peter Rabbit, and the voices in the part, the idea of codes and how to crack those codes is very important. I talk about codes, I talk about colors, I talk about how big or small the character is drawn, I talk about vantage point, right? So if we talk about themes and ideas in the Tale of Peter Rabbit, what are you going to say? What are the ideas that you still have fresh in your mind about the Tale of Peter Rabbit, if any? What? Momhood? Motherhood, يعني ولا إيه؟ And this is also very, broad. Mhm. When we talk about picture books, obviously the focus would be on pictures because of their centrality and importance. So we would expect questions when it comes to picture books about the pictures and perhaps about the and the text, um, right? So you need to invest the right amount of time on that too. Yeah, text and picture. In terms of themes, we have so many themes. You have this idea. Yeah, picture book codes, yes. Themes and ideas have to do with obedience or the lack thereof, right? Ideas of who has claim to the land, otherwise known as colonialism. The idea of this open end where people are invited to come up with their own conclusions about whether what happened at the end was a reward or a punishment, remember? Uh, when we spoke about those, as ideas of poetic justice, it depends on your perspectives and how you see the character of Peter, for example. Is he evil and he got punished at the end, or is he good and he got rewarded at the end? It depends on how you see the chamomile tea. Is it medicine that will nurse him back to health and good, or is it something that is plain, something that is bland, that doesn't have taste, and as such can be a punishment. If you set it against what his sisters are eating, obviously they are eating normal kind of food. So the end or the ending and its interpretation depend on you, on how you see it. And there is no one definitive answer as yes, it is this, or no, it is that, right? Yes, the Telopiter rabbit is also anthropomorphic because we have animals assuming the roles of human beings. They love, they hate, they kill, uh, they disobey, right? Um, Again, there is always this talk about gender roles and whether those gender roles are traditional, whether traditional gender roles are observed or perhaps we have a shift. And obviously, the answer is no. They are, no, we don't have any shifts. We don't have any challenge, right? The boy is acting as expected, and the girls are uh, acting as expected. They are very docile, they are very non assertive, very obedient, and the boy is adventurous. The boy is disobedient. And of course, you know what happened with him and to him. Uh, we also spoke about this idea of ambivalence when it comes to the writer. You don't really know whose side she is taking. Is she taking the side of parents or children themselves? Is the picture book a cautionary tale telling boys not to do what Peter did? And in this case, you can almost tell that she is on the side of Peter. But this is never clear in the novel or in the picture book. um, yeah, go
Our
ahead. But go ahead, yes, Serene.
depends depends on our opinion if the writer Potter stands with disobedience or no.
You mean you're asking if you can provide your opinion? Is
No, I
is the
ask about that the things that you are saying now. That Potter, the writer, we don't know if she is stand with the
yeah,
disobedience about
yeah,
Peter
she's
or
she's
no.
ambivalent.
So here, it's not.
What we know for a fact is that we have disobedience, right? Um, Again, other people may look at it as some kind of revenge. Somebody is curious. Remember, we always have this when it comes to the tale of Peter Rabbit. People always talk about this. What drove or what drives Peter to go and do what he does? Is it curiosity or is it revenge and disobedience? Remember, this is one of the themes that we always have. And you can talk about either as long as you can examples, you're fine. If you think he is disobedient and he shouldn't have done what he has done, and you think that having chamomile tea is punishment, yeah, that's fine. If you think it's the other way around, it is he is a child and children are curious and they normally don't obey. It's not that they are rebel or something. No, it's not as big as this, but they are driven by their curiosity, and their parents understand that. That's why the mother is nursing him to health. In this case, the chamomile tea is not bad, is not a punishment. So again, it depends on your perspective. Again, as long as you can write As long as you can give examples, you are on your way towards getting what you want. So about engaging with the question and the text. Okay. What else about the Little Peter Rabbit? Yeah, Munira, go ahead.
Doctor, about if we are seeing the commonality as a punishment, should we
Mm.
mention within the two views or right
Well,
straightforward?
with a
I will tell.
focus, yeah, you can mention the two with a focus on what you think, what you feel comfortable with. You're going to say that critics are polarized or divided over um, the end of the picture book. They don't know where the writer stands. She is ambivalent at best. And then you talk about your own side. You think it's a punishment, or you think it's a reward. Hmm. What else? Of course, you know the format of the exam, right? Midterm. Normally you have two parts. Part A or part one is short answer questions, and the second part is long answer questions or essays. In the short answer part, you normally have like three things or three questions, and you choose two of them. They can be definitions, they can be concepts and ideas. And when you deal with them, you don't write a paragraph or half a paragraph and you say this is enough. No, this is never enough. We're expecting at least half a page in the short answer part. And I'll tell you why we're expecting half a page, because we expect you to define or unpack the term or the concept or the idea, locate it and talk about it from the novel or the picture book, and then provide examples. Do you think that you can do that in a small paragraph? The answer is no. So do yourself a favor and write at least half a page when it comes to the short answer questions. Okay? You need to also remember that there is no such thing as I don't know, because you know a lot. So don't allow yourself, and sometimes you end up having people who does nothing, they write nothing, and then they come to tell you that they are graduating and they need every single mark. But obviously you cannot help the people who don't write. If you don't write, where, what is it that I'm going to mark? So write sensibly. You have read, you have watched the recordings, you have listened to your teacher, and I think you have a lot to share on the page. If I have to choose between people who write very little and people who write much, of course, I am on the side of those who write much. Okay? But of course, you write much in a sensible way. You don't just fill in the pages and think that you're doing it. But you're still better than the one who leaves the question empty, unattempted. So make sure you write. Make sure if you have to choose between writing too little and too much, you write too much. Um, write sensibly, in a comprehensive way, clearly. Good handwriting counts and is also important. Try to budget your time and manage your time. So you only have how many hours? 2 hours, right? So 2 hours in the grand scheme of things is much, provided that you know how to use them. So manage your time well. Don't leave the questions unattempted or blank. Don't write more than is needed in terms of questions number. If we ask you, for example, in the short answer part to answer only 2 questions, don't try the third one. If you try the third one, we ignore the third one. And the third one may be your best. So focus and focus your energies on the first two so that you can come up with a good answer. Don't kind of spend your energy doing three when you're only asked about two. The same applies to the second part and the essay question part. You're normally asked to write only one essay. So if I ask you to write only one essay and you write two, obviously you're spending your time or you're spending your energy um, in the wrong place. You're obviously unnecessarily, uh, um, stretching yourself too thin, and that would affect your mark. Again, write, write, write. Don't leave the script blank. Mm, I think I finished. If you have any questions about any of the three, come to the mic and share with us. Okay. I wish you all the best. Inshallah, we're meeting again next week. Regular classes with your teachers. And one final, master class before the break next week on Thursday. Come on next week. All the best. Inshallah, you're going to do well. Yalla, take care of yourselves for Ramadan.
Thank you, doctor.
Welcome, everyone. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, Doctor.
Welcome.